Now, our special guest this morning, put it together for Andy Nyman. Welcome to the show. Extraordinary career Andy's had. He's a skilled magician, a co-creator of Derren Brown's award-winning stage and TV shows, and an accomplished actor. Indeed, Andy's the star of Channel 4's, I'm told it's hilarious, by Kevin O'Sullivan, hilarious new comedy Campus, which launches tonight. And you are the Vice-Chancellor.
I am indeed, yeah. It's kind of an extraordinary series. It's created by the people who created Green Wing.
Which is a fantastic pedigree to start off with.
Remarkable. And Victoria Parley did that, also did Smack the Pony.
Right.
And so she's well-schooled in creating stuff that sort of pushes the envelope a bit and is out there. And this is set on a cash-strapped university. Right. And I play this monstrous creation who is the Vice-Chancellor.
So you obviously love it.
It was a joy to do. Who's this sort I guess he's got about 8 personalities that all flick in and out. But it is...
What's his name?
Jonty DeWolf.
Jonty DeWolf.
Yes. And the show is unlike anything else that's on TV, and it is gracefully post-Watershed. And
well, that's good. That's good. And I have to say, I mean, from my own distant memories of university, it's ripe for comedic plucking. And we have a clip. Check it out. Here's Andy harassing the head of English. And it launches tonight.
It does. 10 o'clock, Channel 4, yeah.
And at the same time, I should ask you actually about that. Did you go to university yourself?
I didn't go to university, no. I went straight to drama school. Left sixth form, went straight to drama school.
OK.
Yeah.
But, and that's... I was just wondering, because presumably you're not going to see the broadcast tonight because you are on stage in London's West End.
I am,
The Duke of York in Ghost Stories.
Yes, which is a show that I wrote with Jeremy Dyson, who's my oldest friend, and I...
Not the Hoover man, then.
It's not a Hoover, it's a vacuum cleaner.
Sorry, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And so we've had this lifelong love of horror, and I had this idea about writing a horror, a very funny but very frightening play, which we did, which is Ghost Stories.
So your PR man keeps trying to push me into going into it.
You've got to come and see it.
And everybody that's been to see
it... showing a clip.
Well, everybody that's been there tells me, I've got to go and see it. And I say, why? Tell me about it. I say, can't.
Well, do you know that's one of the joys of it is I think 200,000 people have seen it now. It's been in the West End for 10 months. And no one talks about it. We say at the end, please don't talk about the secrets of this show. And people don't. And if you want to watch...
I'm amazed. Well, people tend to ruin everything if they can.
Well, do you know what? It's one of the things that we wanted to do when we started was, if you look at the trailers on the website, which is ghoststoriestheshow.co.uk, none of the trailers spoil anything. 200,000 people have seen it. If you Google it, you can't find out what the show's about.
No, and all I know is people tell me it's genuinely scary, which nobody ever says about horror films. They say it's genuinely scary.
I think there's something about seeing something that is alive and in front of you. There's no blood and gore, but it is very funny, and it's like a roller coaster ride. This show starts, it's 80 minutes long, no interval.
I want to go.
I say, you're annoying me slightly because I've seen you in films. You're a brilliant actor.
Thank you.
And now you've written this really successful show in the West End, and also you worked with Derren Brown, and also they wanted you to be the front man, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
of Derren Brown?
I was...
But your name's not Derren Brown?
No, well, it was... I was offered that first. They wanted me to be that man because I'd done that style of magic for a long time.
Because you're a magic consultant, aren't you?
Yeah, well, that was this sort of bizarre term that I invented because I was writing it with Derren, directing his performance, kind of giving the...
Never felt so inadequate in my entire life.
Yeah, no.
Look at my hair.
But so that was just about... But I never wanted to do that. I've never wanted to perform magic.
Why not?
Because I'm a great believer, and there's a fantastic quote from George Burns, which is, I'd rather be a failure at something I love than a success at something I hate. And it's not that I hate the magic, I love it and I'm passionate about it, but it's not what I wanted to do. It wouldn't make me happy to do that. The acting is what I love more than anything. So that's why I said, it's fine, I'll write that and do that with you, but I don't want to be that person. And then they found Derren, who's a genius and better than I ever would have been, so we had 10 phenomenal years together.
It takes quite a man, I think, to make such a decision about themselves when such a great opportunity is placed in front of them. What? It's like ITV saying, go and do the Jeremy Kyle show, you know? It's huge, obviously, a much bigger audience. But obviously I would have to sell my soul to the devil.
How did you... I mean, were you the kid with the magic box they got for Christmas? How did you get into magic?
Playing on his own in his bedroom.
Yeah. The influence was there, clearly.
I don't know. I always loved it when I was a kid. I didn't do a huge amount of it, but I loved You know, as a non-sporty kid, I know that may come as a
you were the
surprise
kid on
looking
your own
at
in the
me.
bedroom then?
I wasn't that. I was fascinated by. Almost by the thinking of magic. I remember when I was a kid, I was about 13 or 14, there was a big robbery that happened at the equivalent of what sort of became Asda, which was this shop called Woolco in Leicester, which was the first sort of place that sold everything from apples to washing machines in.
Right.
And I remember one day, a lorry pulled up, big lorry, the shop was open, these guys got out with clipboards, went in, trolleys, loaded up all the white goods, got someone to sign for it, walked out, put it in the lorry, drove off. And I thought that was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. I just thought that was amazing, to understand human nature on that level, to know that as long as they were signing a bit of paper and they were that upfront, the chutzpah of that was very appealing. And I remember very clearly thinking, I could make a very good living
stealing washing machines.
going that route.
I can see it.
And at the same sort of time, my uncle gave me a magic set. And I think even as a teenager, I made the connection between the idea of that criminal deception and the deception of taking something, putting it in your hand, but it not being there.
So were you involved with the Derren Brown bank robbery one then?
Yeah, the heist. Yeah,
which
we
I
wrote that
loved.
together. Thank you. Yeah, but again, that was only ever about all of those early shows. I mean, as I say, I don't do it now. I'm too busy. But those shows, the heist was always. They had an agenda behind them, and that was about, you know, how do you make good people do terrible things, which is what you read day after day after day. So that was about how you distort people.
OK. Talking of distortions, let's talk about today's show.